You're welcome to the academy. We look at our last video or our last lecture. We look at the ledgers, that is the T account. Today we're going to look at the trial balance. From the name trial, check. Trial balance, check the entries in our ledgers. It checks whether the transactions or the entries made in the ledgers were appropriately and accurate. The debit side of our ledger and the credit side of our ledger were entered correctly. Not only the debit and credit side, but the amount were entered correctly. So our trial balance is in form of debit balances and credit balances. That is, we're going to sum up the balances, the debit balances of our ledgers, and as well we sum up the credit balances of our ledgers. After summing these balances up, the credit balance and the debit balance must give us the same amount. If the balances or the amount, the total amount, is not the same with the both side, that is the credit side and the debit side, automatically our entries in the ledger were not entered correctly. So let's look at the trial balance. The trial balance. Also, since a trial balance is a statement, we are going to assume the name of our company and the year which the trial balance is prepared. So we say, let's assume the name of our company is X, Y, Z Limited. Then we say trial balance as at the end of July 20XX. This is the year we assume. So now let's look at the format of the trial balance. The format of the trial balance is we start with details, that is details of the account, details or accounts, details or accounts, we rule it. Then here is our debit, as I've said in the introduction, and here is our credit side. Simple, just like that. Our currency, dollars, our currency, dollars. So this is the format of trial balance. Your details or the account, the debit and the credit. So now the ledgers balances. We're going to pick the balances of our ledgers to this, either credit, debit or credit. And that is all. That is all about trial balance. Now, for you to know that this bank account is having a debit or credit balance, is for you to know, to identify your balance BD. Our balance BD is at the debit side. So this bank account is having a debit balance. Capital account. Our balance BD is at the credit side. So the capital account is having a credit balance. Simple as that. Stocks account or inventory. Our stock account, the balance BD is at the debit side. So the stock account is having a debit balance. Payables account. The payables account, our balance BD is at the credit side. So the payable account is having a credit balance. Our telephone account, the balance BD is at the debit side. So our telephone account is having debit balance. Simple as that. Suppliers. Our suppliers account, the balance BD is at the debit side. So our suppliers account is having a debit balance. Drawings account, our balance BD is at the debit side. So our drawings account is having a debit balance. Rent or rental income, rent income. Our rental income account or rent account, income account is having balance BD at the credit side. So it's having a credit balance. Simple as that. Now, let's do our trial balance. Knowing that this is our format, the details, debit and credit. Now, the first account is the bank account. And we say our balance BD is at the debit side. $43,500 is at the debit side. So it must be at the debit side of the trial balance. $43,500. That is simple. We are done with this bank account. We'll go to the next account, which is a capital account. You write your capital account. And the capital account, our balance BD is at the credit side of the account. So our trial balance capital, the balance is going to the credit side of the trial balance, which is 50,000 US dollars. Now our balance here is 50,000 US dollars on that capital account. So the stock account, our next account is the stocks account or inventory. Stocks account. Our stocks account, if you look at it, our balance BD is at the debit side. So it's having a debit balance. So our debit balance of $7,000. Simple, $7,000. This is trial balance. The next account is payables. Payables account. And payables account is having a credit balance. The balance BD is at the credit side. So you take it to the credit side of the trial balance. 5,000. Simple. Now, the next account is the telephone account. Telephone account. And our telephone account is having a debit balance because our balance BD is at the debit side of 1,000 US dollars. 1,000 US dollars. So let's continue. Our suppliers. The next account is the suppliers account. Suppliers account. Suppliers. That is the detail. And our suppliers account is the debit balance. Balance BD at the debit side. So the suppliers account is having a debit balance of $4,000. Next is the drawings account. Our drawings account, as you can see, you write the drawings account. Drawings. Our drawings balance BD is at the debit side. So it's having a debit balance of $3,000 US dollars. $3,000. The last account is the rental income or rent. Rental income. And the rental income is having a balance BD at the credit side of $3,500 US dollars. $3,500. So after transferring your balances, the one that is having debit and the one that is having credit, the next step is to sum it up. You have to add it. And if you add the balances, at the end of the day, if your total of debit and credit are not the same, or it's not the same, so your ledgers, there are errors in the ledger's entries. Or if your balance or total balance does not equate, maybe there might be an error of entry. Either the balance or the account to be debited was credited, or the account to be credited was debited, or the amount to be debited was not entered correctly. So in that case, your trial balance will not balance. So let's see. Here in the debit side, we have $43,500 plus $7,000. It will give us $50,500, $51,500, $55,500, $58,500. 58,000, that is the total. $58,500 total. Now let's add the credit side. 50,000 plus 5,000, 55,000 plus 2,500, that is 58,500. 58,500. So our trial balance is balanced. Our ledger's account were entered correctly. But the side of the account, that is debit or credit, and the amount were correctly entered. That is all about trial balance. So thank you. As we continue, please watch our videos if you're happy with what we're doing, and also subscribe to our channel, the Ican Success Academy, and click on the notification bell icon that will pop on, so that whenever we release our videos, it will come to you. Thank you so much.